friends, you're most welcome again. In this session, we are still doing our revision in financial reporting. This time round, our session here now, we are looking at May 2015. We are still looking at May 2015, question 3. In the previous sessions, we are doing question 1, we have done question 2, now we are doing question 3. Sooner or later, we'll be able to do up to question 5 as we move on with our sessions. Now, in question 3, we look at question 3A. The following information was extracted from the books of the Ministry of Science and Technology for the fiscal year ended 30 June 2014. We have the transfer from Exchequer, we have the inventory, we have the reserves, we have the accumulated surplus, we have the receivables, we have cash and cash equivalent, we have an encumbrance payable, we have accruals, we have liabilities for long-term employee benefits, we have long-term borrowings, we have finance costs, we have office administrative costs, we have consumables used, we have transfers to other ministries, we have salaries and wages, we have property, plant and equipment, we have payables, transfer from other ministries, other revenues, forex gain, fees, fines, and licenses. We have royalties and we have research expenses. Required: 1. Statement of financial performance for the year ended 30 June 2014. 2. Statement of financial position as of 30 June 2014. That is a total of 14 marks. Now, from our required point of view, we are required to prepare the financial statements in respect to IPSAS number 1. That's presentation of financial statements for public sector entity. And from the required point of view again, we are able to identify the financial year. Our current financial year begins on 1st July 2013 and ends on 30 June 2014. That's simple. Now what we need to do, we need to go back to the information given. We are able to identify whether this is an expenditure, is an income, is an asset, is an liability, or is part of equity. Let's go. From the balances given, from the Ministry of Science and Technology, we have transfer from Exchequer. That's an income, remember. We have inventory, that's a current asset. We have reserves, that's equity. We have accumulated surpluses, that's part of equity. We have the receivables, that's a current asset. Cash and cash equivalent, that's a current asset. An encumbrance payable, that's a current liability. We have accruals, is a current liability. Liabilities for long-term employee benefits, that's an non-current liability. Long-term borrowings, that's an non-current liability. Finance costs, that's an expense. Office administrative cost is an expense. Consumables use is an expense. Transfer to other ministries is an expense. Salaries and wages is an expense. We have property, plant and equipment is an non-current asset. We have payables is a current liability. Transfer from other ministries, that is an income. Other revenues is an income. Forex gain is an income. Fees, fines, and license is an income. We have royalties, that is an income. We have research expenses, that is an expense. We are going to work on that. Now, we come and say, we come now recognize this and say, the Ministry of Science and Technology. Ministry of Science and Technology. Statement of financial for the year So we start with the transfer from exchequer. Then we also have another income is we have transfer from other ministries. $12,000. Other revenues. Forex gain. Fees. So at that point, we come to the end of the incomes. We add them together. We say 693,000 plus the 12. No. Is 693,500 plus the 12,000 plus the 203,600 plus the 28,000 plus the 164,000 plus the 23,000. So that is 1124. That's our total income. We less expenditure. Expenditure. Our expenditure, we talk about one of them is finance costs. I'm seeing 28,000. Office admin expenses. Office admin expenses, 355. Consumables used. Consumables used is 112,400. We have transferred to other ministries. Transfer to other ministries, 133,600. We have salaries and wages. $283,000. We have salaries and wages. We don't have any other. We have research expenses. Nothing else. So we come and say 28,000 plus 355,000 plus 112,400 plus 133,600 plus 283 plus 44. That's 956,000. Then 1124,100, 1681. That's our surplus. So the surplus for the year, as you can see, is 168, 100. Then now, we can come and say Ministry of Science and Technology. We now prepare the statement of financial position. As at 30th June 2014. We start with the non-current assets. Non-current assets, friends, we have one of the items there. We can see property, plant and equipment. And that figure comes to 1,246,000. I'm looking for another non-current liability, but non-current asset, sorry. I'm looking for another non-current assets. I'm not seeing it. That's the only non-current asset we have. So we talk about current assets. In our current assets, friends, one of them we have is receivables. Sorry, before that we have inventory. 30,000. We also have receivables. Receivables, friends, is 50,000. Cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent, 245,000. We also have there is one more. I've seen one more. No, those are the current assets we have, nothing else. Then we get the total assets. So I use my calculator and say that's 80 plus 245, 325. So plus the 1246, that is 1571. Then from there, we move on to the finance by. We have the equity. One of them is there is accumulated surplus. July 2013. I'll use the inner column first. I'll use the inner column. We have it as 160,000. We have the surplus for the year. $168. So that comes to 328. 328. Then we have reserves. I saw reserves. 500. As you can see, we have nothing else. So that's the end of the story. 828, 100. We move on to non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities. Kwa nini? Itaishia hapa. Non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities, we have there are two. One, there is liability for long-term employee benefits. As you can see there, that's 56,000. We have long-term borrowings. Long-term borrowings is 326. Then we have current liabilities. Current liabilities, friends, there are not many. Just one of them is we have accruals. Accruals, from what I'm seeing, is 143,000. We also have the payables. The payables, friends, is a total of 156,000. 156,000, because yeah, 156,000. I'm trying to confirm whether there is any other. I'm not seeing any other liability, friends. Encumbrance payable. $61,500. Then I get the total. Equity and liabilities. So take my calculator, say 326, 400 plus 56. So this is 382. 143 plus 156 plus 61,500, 360. And that comes to the end of this question. You see, it was not very complicated, very straightforward. But this one aspect, remember, friends, we are revising. This is just one aspect of public sector accounting in respect to International Public Sector Accounting Standards, IPSAS.